Cause I'm sinister when the earth swallows me up. Yeah, I'm sinister, following the folly of us. Yeah, I'm sinister, hurting everything that I touch. Yeah, I'm sinister, hurting everything that I touch. Cause I'm sinister when the earth swallows me up. Yeah, I'm sinister, following the folly of us. Yeah, I'm sinister, hurting everything that I touch. Yeah, I'm sinister, hurting everything that I touch.
All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good? You guys ready to learn something today or what? Are you guys ready to learn or not? Drop some ones into the chat. What song is that? The most recent one was One Last Time by Join Us, Joinnus, or US. I gotta wake up. It's like Join Us with two N's. The one before that was, I don't even know how to tell you that one. If you want to know the first one, just ask me in Discord and I'll send you a screenshot later. So some of the cool music really doesn't have like, they have weird names and symbols for letters and stuff. It's strange, but that's why I don't know. Yeah. All right, I'll get to those messages in a second. I really don't know what to expect here. We have had we've had a week where every day has been a large range. We've also had today a lot of, man, I don't even know how to explain it. Like so much back and forth, right? Back and forth higher, back and forth lower, almost straight up. We don't take equities. Well, this isn't equities open, but like the morning session here, we don't take that high on ES, but we do take that on NQ, but we take that high and leave equal highs. So, like, bro, I would not touch this. But what I'm trying to see is if this is going to be like weakness here to go lower. So I was going to send out a tweet, but I decided not to. The other thing too is the lows from this morning on NQ were insane. Like, bro, brethren, look at this shit. Lows, we don't attack that at 8:45, no problem. That, you know, at the time to me was like, all right, it's an engineered low. And then that was like a sell model to go lower, and it looks so good. It looked good, chat. It looks, or at the time, it looked like the image that you see on the frozen boxes of like the Hungry Man or like a DiGiorno pizza. And what always happens when you make frozen food? What inevitably happens? It comes out of the oven or the microwave, and it doesn't look at all like the picture. And like that's what happened here. It's like, all right, bro, we were cooking, and it's like, nope, I'm gonna engineer another low. Like, all right, can't argue with that. So yeah, this to me is no good. No good. So anyway, what's good? Capitalist, Felix, Eric, Eberneth, Mason, Torty, Adam, Marshall, Kobe in the house. H, what's good? Finally able to make a stream. My job has been destroying my trading and studies. It's getting old. Well, I'll tell you this. It's not your job that's destroying your trading. It's you. It is you, my friend. So, and I don't say that to be mean. You know, when I take a loss, guess what? It's my fault too. If I miss out, it's my fault. If I over leverage, it's my fault. If I overtrade, that's my fault. If I take too many trades, that's my fault. If I break my rules, that's my fault. Anything that you do is your fault. So we can always justify it, or try to justify it at least. Well, I couldn't check my trade because I had to clock in and all, you know, all this shit, which, you know, is I'm not saying that it's false or that it's a lie. I mean, there's some truth to that, but to assign blame to externals when it was your actions is just not, it's not it. So again, it's not to be rude or anything like that. And I'm actually glad you brought that up. So last night, let me tell you something, okay? When it comes to reading, right? I don't just always read something new. I like reading something new. Like I've been getting into novels recently. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is pretty hilarious. Probably the greatest $13 I've spent on a novel in a long time. But at the same time too, you got to understand reading does not just mean new book, new book, new book. Okay. Sometimes it means going back to the good stuff. It means rereading some of the best stuff. So last night, what I was doing was going through some of my notes from Clear Thinking by Shane Parrish. Arguably the best book that I've read this year. Seriously. In terms of readability, in terms of substance, right? Sauce, if you will. I mean, look at all these I don't know if you can really see that, but every one of these blue tabs is like a quote or something, or at least a page, and a page might have, 2 or 3 on it. I've got plenty of quotes in here. I mean, it's just a really, really good book. And that's probably the best way. I wanted to incorporate this book somehow today, and well, you brought it up, capitalist, so here we are. And would you like me to share some quotes with you guys? Drop some 2s in the chat if you would like to hear some of the quotes that I have from this book as we watch the indices pretty much do whatever they're going to do, because I have no idea. Like, I really don't. I have no fucking idea. So this is a good place for me to not trade. So we got a couple 2s in the chat. A couple. What's good, Roger? What's good, Oscar? And Cameron. Anybody else that I might have missed? That's it. We only got 3 2s. You guys don't want to hear it? All right. Adam. So there's 4 of you. All right, fine. I'll give you a couple. Where the fuck is the title? I literally cannot stand YouTube's new layout. Okay, it's just Friday. All right. All right, all right. No problem. In the introduction, just move this over. Clean up my space a little bit. It's good. Jordan D in the chat. Jordan D in the chat. What is good, man? In the introduction, he says, ordinary moments often matter more to our success than the big decisions. I want to watch ES. I think ES is the one that has the weakness, so I'll watch ES. Go with that. Ordinary moments often matter more to our success than the big decisions. Each moment puts you in a better or worse position to handle the future. It's that positioning that eventually makes life easier or harder. It doesn't matter what position you find yourself in right now. What matters is whether you improve your position today. Not bad. Jordan, they are ripping stops everywhere. They're shaking and baking. They're searching and destroying. They are ripping faces off. All right, hold on a second. Because there's a specific portion I wanted to get to. They talk about the ego. Oof, very important chapter right there. The longer we avoid the hard thing we know we should do, the harder it becomes to do. Yeah, Jordan. If you like completely skip the first 30 minutes today, that definitely means you skip taking a loss. 100%. 100%. First 30 minutes was not the cleanest in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. I'll say this one again. The longer we avoid the hard thing we know we should do, the harder it becomes. That's a good one. I'm going to skip it. You don't get that one, chat. Daniel, I have no opinion on fiber and cable. I have no opinion. Okay. Chapter 2.1 is called Self-Accountability. And there's some more good quotes in here that I'm going to skip. Because again, I want you to read it. There was a part that I was looking for. Maybe I missed it. Oh, here we go. It's because I don't have it highlighted. It is on page 37, so 38, 39, 40, 41. There's no pages on these couple for some reason, but it's on page 41. The person who can take a step back for a second, center themselves, and get out of the moment will outperform those who can't. So on and so forth. Building strength is about domesticating the wild horses of our nature, training and harnessing them to improve our lives. It's about turning the headwinds of our biology into tailwinds that carry us reliably towards our most cherished goals. Here are the 4 key strengths you'll need. Number 1, self-accountability. Holding yourself accountable for developing your abilities, managing your inabilities, and using reason to govern your actions. Number 2, self-knowledge. Knowing your own strengths and weaknesses, what you're capable of doing and what you're not. Number 3, self-control. Mastering your fears, desires, and emotions. And number 4, self-confidence. Trusting in your abilities and your value to others. So there's the 4: self-accountability, self-knowledge, self-control, and self-confidence. So who was that? Capitalist. That's why when you said that earlier, because I was writing this down in one of my many journals, and you know, I wanted to relate that to trading, right? So I really should organize this stuff better, but I didn't really plan on doing this today. So I wrote down some of the quotes, not all of them. And then after I wrote down the self-accountability part, I kind of added in my own flavor here. So I wrote down self-accountability. Don't succumb to external pressures. Take responsibility for your actions. Don't blame externals. Nobody cares about your excuses as much as you do. In fact, no one cares about your excuses as much as you, which is also a quote from the book. And then I wrote, over leveraging, that's on you. Over trading, that's on you. Not accepting the risk, that's on you. Revenge trading, that's on you. Not respecting the risk, that's on you. Breaking your rules, that's on you. So I probably could have kept going, but I think you get the point here. Is it's all about self accountability. Okay. So this was last night and a little bit this morning. That's why as soon as you said that, I was like, wait a minute. And that popped up right in my head. So that's why I said that expeditiously. So wonderful, wonderful stuff here. And I think that's a pretty good way to start the stream today. What do you guys think? Oscar says I usually don't trade Fridays, but nice setups. I mean, so here's the thing. I'm not saying there wasn't setups. I just think there was setups on both sides of the marketplace, and that is how do I describe it? It's like low risk short of a sell model, right? That obviously offered a lot. New low there, new low here. Like it offered some, right? This is a 1 minute imbalance as the low risk short. This is a 5 minute imbalance here, right? Goes into a discount, comes back into a premium, ends up creating like a distorted intermediate term high, right? We drop off, retrace, and then this to me, just like I said in Discord, like, you know, I think I said it looks like NQ wants to catch up because I think ES had taken its low, and it looked like that, and then it doesn't. So then it's like, okay, well, do I want to switch my bias to go long for these highs? And it's like, well, I could, but I still have a strong feeling like that sell side there is like that's there. You know what I mean? And this to me was a smaller, pool of liquidity, so I'm not going to trade that. So inevitably, what happens? The up candles here that the market traded into to go lower, right? So there was, utilization to an extent that becomes like a reaccumulation in the short term. And then that down candle is respected. That one might be, I can't really tell. And then this down candle here is respected to go higher for that. So to me, right, it's like, okay, it's almost like I'm longing in the second stage of distribution, and that's hard for me to do. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, we're here, and in hindsight, like I mentioned, ES had taken that low and NQ stayed higher. So yeah, in the short term, it had strength, but the primary focus was lower. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to, and here's what I'm talking about. That low here barely tapped into at 10:30, but it still does that. You know what I mean? And then here's that same thing, two imbalances. This one is the higher one. Not sure why that's orange. I think I switched that around earlier, but when there's two imbalances, right? There's the higher one, down candle here for those highs. That would have been a cool scalp, but again, that's just not what I was focused on. It just wasn't. And then now, like I told you earlier, we failed to make a new high of day, low resistant highs, and then this might be short-term weakness. So I am not looking to take, 15, 20 trades a day. I'm just not looking to do that. I'm just not looking to try and trade every move here. That's not what I want to do. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Oh, I just read that. It said, not being an SMS member, that's on you. Facts. I wish I could pin that, but it is a highlighted message, so I can't. But that's hilarious. Turning winners into losers, that's on you. You should tell that to your boss. You know what I mean? You should be like, I don't know, boss. You're the boss, so that's on you. I'm just kidding. Don't say that. Don't say that. What's good, Juan? Would that be considered a 1-2-3 formation on ES? Man, I don't know. Not really. There's like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have several lows here. And no imbalance in that. You see what I mean? No imbalance in here, so it doesn't offer, the Judas model doesn't offer an inversion model. It offers the I don't even know if we have a name for this one. The 2 imbalances, and you take the first one with a stop at the second. It does that here. So I don't know. I wouldn't consider it that. Here's the thing, chat. Whenever you have a question, I'll answer it, of course. But one of the things you got to understand is if it's not clear and obvious, then it's probably not that. Does that make sense? Like if it sort of looks like it, but you don't know, it's probably better to just think that it's not. Okay? What's good? Yusitha? If that's how you say that. No, Adam, I have not. I have not. No. I have not done that. I have not, my friend. But yeah, just look at this. Sell side down here. Short-term buy side up here. We're not exactly halfway, but I just think this is low probability to me. So, what other questions you guys have for today? What other questions do you guys have today? Gordon said, I definitely would have gotten wrecked if I didn't partial and let the trade run to the target regular trading hour lows, right? And see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm an advocate for that. Price doesn't always hit the liquidity that we think it's going to. Now, it usually does, but it doesn't always. So the person who takes partials is going to do better than the person that breaks even, or even like takes a loss, for example. Even if it's like a partial and then break even on the rest of the position, it's you're still growing an account, you know? But again, that's just my opinion. You're free to agree or you're free to disagree. But yeah. But yeah. Let's go to the daily for a second. And sort of, you can tell why we've done what we've done based on this chart. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at this week. Just look at this week. We are still inside the range of FAFO Friday. Okay? FAFO Friday gave us like what, 1,200 points or whatever it was. And just take a look at every day. Okay, Monday trades back into the range. no problem there. Tuesday does what? We attack Monday's high and Monday's low. Wednesday takes Tuesday's high back in the range. Thursday, yesterday, takes Wednesday's high and Wednesday's low back into the range. Today, trades lower. I think for Thursday's low and Tuesday's low so far. You know what I mean? Like this here, I'm not saying it's impossible, but when you see yourself in this condition, either like halfway of the entire range or understanding like discount and premium on a higher time frame, that will help you. But this is what markets do that consolidate. They run highs, or they sweep highs and they sweep lows. Right. That was like the second stream I ever did for that company. Qualities of a consolidating market. Rest in peace, Channel 96. The greatest channel in the MLM industry. How's that for ego? That shit had almost 200 episodes. So, if not the greatest, at least the most amount of content. So we can say that, right? We can say that by definition. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? But, matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go back to our daily. And I know there's a lot of gaps on here, and there is a reason for that. But the blue ones are regular trading hours gaps. The upper gray one is a daily imbalance. The lower gray one is supposed to be different. That one's actually Sunday's gap. So if we want to make that a different color to differentiate, then that may be what we need to do. Okay. So this will give you a better understanding of the smaller time frames. But watch this. Our current high and then FAFO's low, right? You see 50%? Look at it. It may not be to the tick, but we're gonna do this. It's off by like a point, but that's fine. We're not going for perfection here. We have done that before, but not here. You see what I'm saying? Like, here's our 50% of the entire range, and you can see exactly what we've done. Above it, back below it. Above it, stops, back below it for stops. Above it, back below it. Above it for stops. Back below it for stops. Back above it for stops. Below it for stops. Higher retracement to go lower for stops. Premium highs here, back in the range for stops. You see what I'm saying? Like over and over and over again. That's what these markets do. So the point of that is understanding in this type of environment, it is usually best to trade at the extremes. Meaning the low risk short or the low risk buy. By price extremes, I'm saying like after an extended move. See something like this? Lower, and then just below that low. If you're buying within that, like, yeah, this is kind of a shitty retracement, but you're buying in a discount below an old low or close to it to go back into the range, or something like this, right? Prolonged move lower, retracement, prolonged move overnight into London, and then London is back into Sunday's gap. That's an extreme retracement to go higher. See what I'm saying? So let's come back for a second. The weakness here was short-lived. And these highs, again, are low resistant highs. There's going to be buy side all up here. And then NQ, I've already pointed out these equal highs up here. So if the weakness is not continued and we're showing signs of strength, then it's probably going to launch. But again, low probability for me personally. I wouldn't touch this. But I'm at least going to give you my thoughts and show you live price. You know what I mean? Both coming off the opening gap. Well, you might be right. We have not looked at that all that much today. This gave us a relatively small opening range gap here. Right there. That's like hardly anything. Unless you're talking about the overnight one. But yeah. This is not fun. Oh, daily. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know, chat. Oh, settlement on? Do you have yours set? Mine's usually not. So unless you're talking about something like this, maybe. I don't know. But see that difference there? Well, anyway, post a chart in the Discord and I'll take a look. And I will take a look, my friends. Oh, yours is on. Well, see if that makes a difference on the smaller time frames. See if that is the case. But it is 12:40, so we're not exactly at any macros yet. But yeah. Did you guys see the metals today? Look at silver. Finally, a sizable retracement in the last couple months. It is down 5.7%. High at 53.76. See that? Which, actually, you know what? The futures might not have all of this. I was trying to hide the tweets. I want to make it seem like I'm always trying to show off for you. And that's not the case. Well, anyway, avoid that. Oh, I can't even move it off the chart. All right, well, I guess we're going to keep it there. But when we got that, right, obviously, feel free to take some silver off here. And we extended right above. And this is like pretty much all-time highs. So it's not a surprise to get pullbacks. You know what I mean? Now 5%, to be fair, that's a lot. That's a lot. Turn that off back in April. It was confusing me. I usually don't have mine on, Jordan. Mason, I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. So I couldn't tell you. I mean, I can look at it after the stream. I'm not going to look at it at the moment. So all of these highs in here, that might be a sweep to go lower. And again, like, this is exactly my point. I don't know. I have no strong conviction either direction at the moment. Either way. Like, this is... I'd rather do something else. You know? Chipotle's right down the street. There's a coffee shop. You know what I mean? I could go there, have coffee, read. You know what I mean? I would much rather do that than to be looking at this or even trading this here. What happened, Jordan? I started reading your message and then you took it back. What happened? The thing, bro, listen, okay? You want to know, like, what people do? Most people, they come to me, they ask me shit. Oh, the parent company of Tylenol. Yeah, that's probably a good long, maybe. When people ask me questions, whether it be for advice or, you know, just my opinion, I'm gonna give it to you. But, like, I'd say 8 out of 10 times, people just don't listen. Like, they don't do the things that I would tell them that I would do. Sometimes they do. You know what I mean? Like, I'll buy books for people. They don't read them. I'll tell them, I'd rather, you know, if you have this kind of debt, I'd rather pay that off first than this. They don't fucking do it. You know, oh, you should journal. You don't fucking journal. You should print charts. You don't fucking print charts. And, like, that's one of the most annoying things. It's like, okay, I'm literally giving you free game. Free game. And then you just piss off and don't listen and don't do it. So it's not saying that, like, oh, I give the world's greatest education, I give the world's greatest advice on, you know, stuff. I don't, probably. I mean, to say you're the best in the world is it's a pretty high bar, right? So I wouldn't say that, but I would say, like, common sense stuff. Common sense. You know what I mean? Pay off the highest debt, highest interest rate first if you want to save the most money in the long run. Right? Stuff like live below your means. You know, don't live paycheck to paycheck. Save up money, build up a investment portfolio, build up an emergency account, because shit's gonna go down in the future. What day is it gonna be? I couldn't tell you. Is it gonna be next year or the year after that or the year after that? I don't know. But at some point, shit's gonna hit the fan. And if you're not preparing yourself, you're fucked. People don't listen. Then what happens? Every time I try to get ahead, something happens. It takes me back to... Well, no shit. No shit. Life happens. And you don't prepare for it. So, when things happen and you're not prepared, now you're doubly screwed. Now you're doubly cooked. You're burnt. charred, done. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I told the bro years ago, it was on Twitter, even in the market reviews, I was telling you guys, I'm buying silver. I'm buying silver. You know what I mean? Guess how many more people bought silver? Not a lot. A couple. Maybe. In hindsight, it would have been better if I bought an ETF instead. But everything's easier in hindsight, right? But the point is, good advice has always been out there. The Bible's been around for a long time. Stoic philosophy's been around for arguably slightly longer. Well, I guess it depends on which portion of the Bible you're referring to, but I'm saying, like, okay, if you go into Proverbs, right? Let me see if I have it. I'm pretty sure I do, chat. It's somewhere in Proverbs where I think this is chapter 1. Verse 20. The call of wisdom. Wisdom cries aloud in the street. In the markets, she raises her voice. At the head of the noisy streets, she cries out. At the entrance, sorry. Too much caffeine. At the head of the noisy streets, she cries out. At the entrance of the city gates, she speaks. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? How long will the scoffers delight in their scoffing and fools hate knowledge? It means wisdom's out there, broski. It means wisdom is out there. Verse 23 to continue. If you turn at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit into you. I will make my words known to you. Because I have called and you refused to listen, have stretched out my hand and no one has heeded, because you have ignored all my counsel and would have none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you. When terror strikes you like a storm, and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Listen, I'm no pastor, okay? I don't have a theology degree. I cuss a lot. I know, okay? But if you pay attention to the words here, right? Listen to this, because I'm going to say this again. Verse 26, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you. You see that word when, not if. That's a big distinction. If I went on a date with a girl, right? Woman, okay? And however it goes, if I said, call me if you make it home. Don't you think that'd be a little weird? Call me if you make it home. Or would it be better if I said, call me when you make it home? Because when implies that you're going to make it home. But if I said, call me if you make it home, means, what do you mean if? If I make it home, what's going to happen to me? There's a big distinction between those words. In verse 26, I will mock when terror strikes you. That implies that it's coming. It is on the way. Okay? Hardships, disaster, market crashes. They're all on the way. When will they happen? I don't know. Okay? I'm pretty good. I'm not that good. And so people ask me all the time about various topics. It could be about money. It could be about, I don't know, reading, journaling, whatever it is, especially trading. But people just don't listen. And yeah, Adam, I grew up in the Baptist church. But clearly I am not the number one shining star of Christianity. So If someone is about to activate a 50K account and is nervous / fearful, what would you recommend? Well, I would recommend to know your rules and to stick to them. I've made videos how to never lose a funded account or never lose a funded account again or whatever. You know, there's guidelines that you can follow. There's risk management protocols, scaling risk down, adding to winners, not losers, like 48 laws of trading. It's out. The wisdom is out there, dog. It's okay to be nervous and fearful. But what is there to fear if your setups are low risk, high reward? What is there to fear if it takes 20 trades in a row to lose the account? What is there to fear? I think what happens is it becomes more about the ego than it does about anything else. You taking a loss or a series of losses will make you feel bad and make you feel like it's gonna attack your self-worth somehow. Like it's as if you're not a good person because you took a loss or two, which is not true at all. You know what I mean? So you have to take it for what it is, man. Trading involves risk, period. Now, on a funded account, you're limited to that risk. And I think one of the greatest parts is it's not even real risk. It's literally a demo account. It's a demo account that you can get paid off of. You know what I mean? So it's pretty insane to me that anybody, right? And again, myself included, that anybody, right, could have fear on a demo account. You know why people would have fear in a demo account? It's because it's the ego. I don't want to be wrong. You don't want to be wrong. We want to be right. Even in a demo setting. That's what it is. You're not fearful of losing money in a demo account. You fear being wrong because your ego is standing in the way. That's what it is. Or it could be so completely different. I don't know. But that's my suggestion. That's what it could be. So oh shit. It's the macro time and you guys didn't even let me mark it up. You guys are all fired. Every single one of you are fired. Members, you're fired. Non-members, you're fired. You're all fired today. Fired. 1250 is what our macro started. Rallied, a little bit of a retracement, and looks like it's going for those highs. You're welcome. You're welcome, Edmundo. You are welcome. But yeah, see, and that's the thing, man. Like humans, we have flaws, we have emotions, ego, fear, revenge, all type of stuff. When we learn how to trade and you actually, know what you're doing, the temptations start to creep in. Well, maybe I should over leverage. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Why shouldn't I over leverage? That's when it starts. That is when the tilt starts. And it's one of the worst things that you could do. You'll feel like a king if it works out. But you'll feel like a peasant when it doesn't. What was the last thing I just said? Did that come out correctly? What did you guys hear just now? Somebody type in the chat exactly how I said it. I might need to go back and what's this minute? 12:56. Okay. What was it? Do you guys remember? I need to know. I need to know. Capitalist, you're fired. Twice. All right. Well, y'all forget about it. I'll figure it out later. You called this peasants? I don't think so. I think I said you'll feel like a king if you get it right, but you'll feel like a peasant when you get it wrong. Anyway, verbiage is what matters. Because anytime somebody over leverages, it could go either way. But at a certain point, if you over leverage, it will go against you. It's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when. Right, Mason. And that's not always the case. $12:59. It's coming up on the new hour here. We're gonna put buy set there and take that off. But I want you to watch this carefully here. And we have a new hour right here. So we'll sit here for a few more minutes. Why shouldn't I over leverage? That's when it starts. You'll feel like a king when it works, but a peasant when it doesn't. Ego check. How much do you personally risk, if you don't mind me asking, like percentage wise? Anything past 2%, and it's one thing to add to a position, but initially in a position, anything over 2%, and it's like it's too much. So 1% is fine, but 2% and beyond is where I'd rather not. So but yeah, 1 to 2% should be fine. But that 2% really only goes on like solid setups. It's got to be like solid. It can't just be willy-nilly shit. Do I have any advice on going / selecting a church? I don't actually. There was a woman that she's in California, and she had like the same sort of thing. She's like, "Oh, I'm trying out different churches or whatever." And I don't know, man, that's difficult because you really don't know who those people are, and you really don't know what they believe. And I've seen some wild things. You know what I mean? Okay, watch this carefully here. Discernment is difficult. It's one of the hardest things, not just in trading, but I'd say like in finding a church. Discernment is hard. But I'd say, you know, try them out, see what they talk about. Just because there is a church doesn't mean that that one is worth going to. Beware of false prophets. You know, I mean, I've seen pastors that came out and were talking a whole bunch of trash about Charlie Kirk. They just hand out. Anybody can be a pastor these days. Anybody. They just hand out being a pastor title like driver's licenses. They just, and you're a pastor, and you're a pastor, and you're a pastor. You know what I mean? It's just a title. I would stay far away from pretty much everybody on the internet. Stephen Furtick, far away. Joel Osteen, stay far away. There's a couple more. I can't think of their name. If they preach 30 minutes, however long, okay, and they're telling you stuff and they don't tell you a single Bible verse, done. Leave. Never again. If they're the kind of pastor that just make you feel good and that everything is great, you know, prosperity gospel, stay far away, never go back. Okay? You want a pastor who references the Bible, gives you the verses, so on and so forth. Oh, Michael Todd, stay far away. Those were like, I think the big three. Stephen Furtick, Michael Todd, Joel Osteen, stay far away. Far away. My best suggestion is find a local church, like small. Nobody famous. Or at least we wouldn't know if anybody was famous. Small church, straight biblical stuff. That's what I would go with if it was me. All that celebrity stuff. If your pastor has like 40 books, come on, man. There's nothing wrong with a few books. But like, bro, 40, 50 books, dog? What are we doing? All right, 66.96. We just need a little spike up there, and that's it. But you know why I was saying pay attention to this? I said pay close attention when we zoomed in on this. Because this short-term mitigation became an inversion right there. I didn't point it out to you. I didn't really see it till like the minute after, just so you know. But, because I was talking to you. But right there. Bang! Time, price, context, baby. Inverted mitigation inside a macro up to buy side liquidity. Bang! Chat. Pew, pew. So, told you I wanted to be bearish. By the time we did this, again, it's like, okay, well, either we're going to go or we're not. So once we got through it, fine, inversion. Boom. Bing, bang, boom. What a way to end the stream. Real live price, baby. Real live price. So let's see where Nasdaq's at. This is dookie. This is dookie. But those highs are still there. Don't ask me what the buy opportunity was here because I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. In here. Don't know. But see, and this is what I'm talking about. I might be bearish on something or bullish or whatever, but if I'm wrong, the market will tell me. There's those highs on NQ. See that? But do you see what we did here this whole stream? I told you it's low probability. I told you, well, you know, there's liquidity down here, there's liquidity up here. Like, I don't know. But when the market finally, you know, tipped its hand, by this point, it definitely tipped its hand, right? It was a little bit bearish for sure. But how many times do you think a level is going to hold before it becomes something else, right? And so a lot of people may not think that that's a trade. It is. That is a trade. That is a trade. Technically, this was a bullish mitigation inside of a inverted mitigation. Right there. Bang. Look at that. I didn't really see, I wasn't looking at that, but you know, just for your studies, you know, highlight the difference, or I'll change the orange so we can tell the difference here. But look at that. Look at that. There's no algorithm. There's no algorithm. It's all buying and selling. It's all buyers and sellers. Everybody agreed. Right at 1250, we took off. And then that retracement took off, right? But there's no algorithm. There's no magic time windows. They don't exist. Y'all be good. Be blessed. I'll be here on Monday. Same time, same place, same price.
I'm on crib, bitch, I don't even know what it means. Yeah, I'm smoking dough, yeah, high on the dreams. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, grab a shotgun, tell me, yeah.